살아봐.
Ichibei is one of the most enigmatic and powerful characters in Bleach, which means that we will be talking a lot about this powerful Shinigami, who is also the leader of the Zero Division. Ichibei is immensely powerful, and his powers and abilities far surpass those of a normal Shinigami or Quincy. But even though he is a Shinigami, Ichibei has some special abilities and things that make him stand out, including his Zanpakuto. In his battle against Yhwach, Ichibei activated his Shin'uchi, and we will explain that in this video. There is no difference between the Shin'uchi and a Bankai, but the former is tied exclusively to Ichibei and no other character in the series. Ichibei is a very special character, and while he is a Shinigami in that aspect, he doesn't really stand out much. Several aspects of this character certainly need explaining. In this video, we have decided to focus on just one, as we will explain the meaning of the phrase Shin'uchi in Bleach, and how it is related to a much more popular and known term, Bankai. Ichibei is special in this way, and while his release can be called a Bankai, it is technically called Shin'uchi. In Bleach, the Shinigami's primary weapon is the Zanpakuto. It is a sword with unique skills that contains a spirit that somehow relates to the user. There are various Zanpakuto types, but most resemble standard katana, while some resemble other bladed weapons. The Shikai and the Bankai are the two releases of the Zanpakuto. The Bankai is the pinnacle of a Shinigami's skill since it gives a Shinigami some really fantastic powers and abilities. The Shikai alters the shape of a Zanpakuto and grants its user some new strengths. This video's main topic is the Bankai, therefore, we'll start by explaining it. Bankai is the second and final form of a Zanpakuto. At this stage, the sword's power usually increases many times over, and its appearance often changes dramatically. Normally, a Shinigami only uses the Bankai in extreme emergencies. Unlike Shikai, this one doesn't have an activation phrase, although most say, Bankai. The Bankai of a Zanpakuto often manifests the spirit inherent in the sword itself. Many things can be said about a Bankai, but we shan't tell you about all of them here. You need to know that the process of Bankai training is usually a long process, and controlling a Bankai requires a lot of power and willpower, although there are ways of achieving it earlier. A Bankai increases a Shinigami's power 5 to 10 times, and while a Bankai cannot change, it can have several techniques and forms. So the process of mastering a Bankai is a complex one and lasts for a longer period of time. But the Bankai is also a term invented by Ichibei, who named all the things in Soul Society. Yet, Ichibei himself doesn't have a Bankai. How is that, you ask? Well, there is no doubt that Ichibei can activate a Bankai. He is certainly strong enough, but he did not do it, did he? In his battle against Yhwach, Ichibei activated his second evolution, Shirafude Ichimonji. But he did not call it Bankai. He used the term, Shin'uchi. As he explained to Yhwach, the modern term for Shin'uchi is Bankai, as both terms signify the evolved form of a Zanpakuto. Shin'uchi means either true strike or true blade in Japanese. So, if they are the same, why a difference in meaning? Well, Ichibei himself said that his Ichimonji is the first evolved Zanpakuto, meaning that his Bankai predated the term Bankai, as Ichibei coined it later. Because of that, Ichibei uses the term Shin'uchi for his own blade, while he uses the term Bankai for all the blades that evolved after he came up with the name. And that is the whole story, the whole difference between the terms Shin'uchi and Bankai. Before we end this video, though, we will tell you what Ichibei's Shin'uchi looks like as it relates to this topic. Ichibei's Zanpakuto is called Ichimonji. Ichimonji is special in that it already has powers in its sealed form. The brush's special property is not to cut through flesh but instead to split the essence of the name of all things it brushes. This has the effect that the object in question is conceptually reduced by half of its existence, and, therefore, its power. Ichimonji's Shikai transforms the brush head and then forms a short, fairly wide blade. With every strike, the sword sprays black ink. Anything covered by it will literally have its name blacked out, this losing its powers entirely. A devastating weapon for any opponent with a Zanpakuto or similar weapon, where the release of their powers relies on knowledge of the weapon's name. Yhwach can steal Ichimonji's abilities but cannot be assimilated. According to Ichibe, the power of his Zanpakuto is simply the color black. So as long as Ichimonji is activated, everything black in the world, be it from living or dead things, will become the source of his power. His Shin'uchi is called Shirafude Ichimonji. In this state, the brush head is completely covered in a long line of white paint that winds through the air. While Ichimonji's Shikai can cross out an item's name, the Bankai's function is to give the item a new name. As he does so, Ichibei uses his brush to write the kanji of the new name he has created for the object over the black ink with which the Shikai covered it. As a result, the item now has exactly the same properties and strengths as what it was named after. Have something to add? Let us know in the comments below.